Hello and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 23rd of May. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you the broad strands to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then give in great detail each of the 12 zodiac signs that you can relate to, the key dates and influences for each one. Now, on the 29th of April, Mercury, the planet of communication, moved into the sign of Gemini. But on the 10th of May, around 2 weeks ago, it went into a retrograde. And as we start this week, Mercury retreats back within that retrograde into the sign of Taurus. Now, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, so even in the retrograde, and of course it's been in a recently sparkling alliance with the flirtatious Venus, there have been possibilities. A lot of communications, a lot of ideas. I think Mercury reversing back into Taurus asks us to get really grounded about what some of those ideas may be and try to get a more tangible idea of how we can make things work in a really practical way. So an opportunity, I think, to still grapple with those finances, especially with the recent cost of living increases, and where we can squeeze a bit more from our budget. Mercury's going to help us to think about those things. But when it comes to thinking, late last week there was a quarter moon in the dreamy sign of Pisces, and that squared the Sun in the sign of Gemini. So a little bit of gossip could be doing the rounds this week. We should definitely not necessarily just believe at face value something we're told, particularly within our neighbourhood. There could also be some potential for misunderstandings with siblings. Now, this is a really important week in so many ways, but I think mostly because Mars on Tuesday returns to one of its two home zones, but of course it is the only ruling planet of the sign of Aries, and that's where it gets back to on Tuesday for a 6-week stay. But it immediately forges an absolutely fantastic link with Jupiter. Now, Jupiter, of course, is the planet of expansion. So now Mars returns to Aries. We have Jupiter, the planet of growth and potentially of good luck. And we also have Venus in the sign of Aries too. So the potential for initiative and drive is very strong. When Mars and Jupiter get together, it can give us an even greater sense of determination and thrust. But we also must remember that the element of the sign of Aries is fire, and Jupiter can, see us be a little bit overconfident in some ways. So it's going to be important to keep, grounded, and perhaps Mercury in that retrograde in Taurus can help this, especially where we're wanting to bring a much more excitement and action to a situation that may have stalled. But it's not just Mars that's forging a gorgeous link with Jupiter, because the Sun is, from Monday to Friday, in a sextile, and this is one of the luckiest aspects that you can get in astrology. So if our ideas are strong, our determination and spirit to see them through, that energy in Aries, particularly with Jupiter, that gives us a great opportunity to move forwards at some pace. So something that has been a little bit stuck could gain traction, and that's really exciting. Now, ironically, Venus forges a very positive link with Saturn this week, a very stabilizing angle. So this is, if you like, Venus in Aries, technically detrimented, but it's in a sextile with the co-ruler of Aquarius. So that's very much about the collective, the group, friends, if you like. Venus is about taking in the sign of Aries. It's about maybe just going for it a little bit. But if there is something that's working out well in a relationship, it could actually be very stable. The irony is that Venus is also in a square with Pluto from Monday through to the end of the week. And any relationship that is leveraged, so where Perhaps someone is promising us a really amazing deal around a job, or perhaps it could be that someone tries to spoil us big time if they're trying to get to know us, almost like being over generous. It's not to say that there's anything sinister with these tactics, but we just must be aware that Pluto's about power and Venus is about money as well as potentially sex. So, the inference is clear. Saturn can bring stability, but Pluto can bring some leverage. So just be conscious of that. But I think the key this week is to cut through the swirling mist that is that quarter moon, because there could be some mixed signals. It's not just Mercury's retrograde, and Mercury's retrograde in Taurus is most certainly asking us to scrutinize the details of things in a very exacting way. Now, if you are new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. I'm getting very close to that 100,000 mark. All the illnesses I've had in recent years, last 10 years, catching up now. So we'd greatly appreciate if you would click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you would like to ascend above this broadcast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal information, time, date and place of birth, I can share with you an astrological roadmap that can guide the rest of your life, and also my special package of 30% off a character analysis for the next 12 months. No 2 charts are the same. Please see the link beneath this video. But please stay with me now for your individual zodiac forecast. So Pisces, your week commencing the 23rd of May forecast begins with the quarter moon, which occurred in your sign on Sunday, but it pours its energy into this week, whereas the sun for you is in house 4, home, emotion, family. House 1 is very much about our individuality. Something you may yearn for this week may run slightly counter to the perfect outcome you would like. So you may have to think more about how things feel rather than just going for a goal. So balancing your ambitions with the emotional reality might be important on the back of that quarter moon. But the sun is over the next 4 weeks giving you a great opportunity to think about where you live, how you live there and with whom. But Mercury rotates out of that location on Monday into your 3rd house. The 3rd house is very much to do with technology. It can also be to do with the mode of transport we choose, but for me, very much more to do with bikes, motorcycles, even e-scooters, because they're quick, flexible. So it's possible within the retrograde that you may decide to invest in something new in these areas, perhaps even give your mobile phone or your laptop some kind of upgrade, or perhaps even splash out on something that's more up to date. But the big news on Tuesday is Mars moving out of your sign, where it's been for 6 weeks, an eventful weeks at that, and arriving in its home zone of Aries. But it immediately joins with Jupiter. For you, this can trigger some real good fortune financially. Now, someone wrote on YouTube that why was it that all astrologers found ways to play down the benefits of Jupiter? Well, I was absolutely amazed by that, because it seems to me that most of the YouTube astrologers would be telling people how amazing Jupiter arriving in Aries is. Now, my presentation on Jupiter, and you can see that by going to my channel, I hope is very balanced. But for sure, for your sign, because of the desire of Mars, which is the planet of instant gratification, and the expansion and fortune-bringing energies of Jupiter combining with Mars, then if you do try to do something that is a bit more daring, there is a chance it could pay off. But of course, with Mercury retrograde, you need to make sure that you've got all the information you need crystal clear. But you've already got Venus in your 2nd house, so I think your finances have picked up a bit recently anyway. Now, that's not to say some of your costs haven't gone up, because they have for all of us. So it's about opportunity. I can't guarantee that you're going to win the lottery. What I can guarantee is that if you're working hard and smart, some kind of serendipity could fall for you at this time. And with the Sun in a glorious angle to Jupiter, as it is from Monday to Friday, that is one of the luckiest influences one can have. So I think, it really can be a time of positivity around that for you. More challenging is the fact that Venus is in a square with Pluto later in the week. If there is someone you like, it could be someone that is in your friendship circle, you may start to find out just how much your values and theirs mesh or not. Pluto can be about what's disguised and what's secret, and also where people are leveraging things because they want something from us, but something that suits their purpose more than ours. So just be aware that someone's not laying on the charm and flattering you big time, but actually their motivations are not necessarily as white as driven snow, as that old saying used to be. So balancing your individual needs with your emotional situation through the quarter moon, your finances can improve, or your desire to improve them can strengthen. It could be linked to a property matter that you can have success around, with the Sun in a wonderful sextile to Jupiter. And there's so much to go for you this week.